I want you to just picture a really specific moment for a second.
Okay.
It's a Tuesday night. You're completely exhausted. You finally collapsed onto the couch after a super long day of work.
We all know the feeling.
Right. Maybe you've got the TV on in the background, just some random show, and you pull out your phone.
Yeah.
You're just looking for that little dopamine hit, scrolling through social media, maybe checking a few texts. You're just trying to decompress. And then it happens.
Oh, no.
The screen dims slightly.
Yeah.
A gray box pops up right in the middle of everything you're doing.
So the absolute mood killer.
Total mood killers. That little gear icon. System update available.
Yep.
And it's usually accompanied by some vague text, right? Like install now or remind me later.
Try again tonight.
Exactly. So be honest with me, and I'm asking the listener here too. What is the visceral, physical reaction you have to that notification?
That's not a good one.
Is it gratitude? Are you thinking, oh, thank goodness the engineers in Silicon Valley are looking out for my digital safety?
Absolutely not. It is annoyance. Pure, unadulterated annoyance.
It really is.
Feels like a fly buzzing in your ear when you're just trying to fall asleep. It feels like an imposition.
It does. It feels like the device is telling me what to do rather than the other way around.
Right.
And we have this muscle memory now. It's almost automatic. We don't even read the text on the screen anymore.
No, you just look for the grayed out button.
We just hit later.
Yeah.
Remind me tomorrow. We treat it like a chore we can just, negotiate with.
Like doing the dishes.
Yeah, exactly. I'll do it in the morning. I'm too tired right now.
But that negotiation is an illusion.
Yeah.
And that is exactly the core of what we are doing a deep dive on today. We're looking at a fascinating piece of source material titled Fourth Day Silent Exploitation, the Security Update Mandate.
That title alone is intense.
It is. Silent exploitation. It honestly stopped me in my tracks when I first read it.
It sounds like a thriller movie, doesn't it? Or maybe a submarine warfare manual.
It really does. But it's actually about what happens right there in your pocket when you hit that Remind Me Later button.
Wow.
The argument this source makes is that when you delay an update, you aren't just pausing a download.
Yeah.
You are actively making a gamble. You are betting your bank account, your private photos, your entire identity against a timeline you don't even know exists.
That is a seriously heavy start.
Yeah.
But I think, honestly, we need to go there.
You do.
Because the mission of this deep dive is to fundamentally shift your perspective as a listener. We need to move away from thinking of updates as this annoying interruption like a speed bump on your phone.
Right.
To understanding that avoiding them is a massive, massive risk.
It's the difference between seeing a wet floor sign and just kind of walking around it versus seeing a danger minefield sign and deciding to just dance right through it because you're in a rush.
That is a great way to put it.
The source outlines this conflict perfectly. It's the tension between perceived convenience.
Like work is going on right now, I'm busy.
Exactly. The tension between that and a very hidden reality.
So today we are going to break all of this down. We're going to look at the psychology of why we delay these updates, the specific excuses we tell ourselves.
Lies we tell ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we're going to bust some serious myths about storage space and phone speed, which I know is a huge reason people skip this stuff.
Oh, massive reason.
I mean, I've definitely thought if I update this old phone, the manufacturer's just going to slow it down to force me to buy a new one.
The classic conspiracy theory. We will definitely get into the mechanics of why that feels true to people, even when it's technically false.
And we absolutely have to talk about that term, silent exploitation.
The invisible threat.
The idea of hacking without clicking. That is the core threat here. We've also got a really compelling case study from the source material. A user named Ramesh G.
That story is wild.
It perfectly illustrates how you could be a totally safe user and still get completely compromised.
It's a horror story, really, but a very quiet one.
And of course, we will finish up with a practical action plan.
Yeah.
Because we don't just want to scare you, we want to give you the actual tools to fix it.
Exactly. Give you the power back.
So let's unpack this. Let's start with the man in the mirror. Why do we actually do this?
Right. Let's look at the psychology.
The source lists a few very specific excuses that I think everyone listening has used at least once.
Oh, guaranteed.
The first one is the classic. Work is going on right now, I'll update later.
Right. It's the immediacy of the present moment. In psychology, we call this hyperbolic discounting.
Hyperbolic discounting. Okay, explain that.
It basically means we value the immediate reward, like continuing to scroll, continuing to type that email, infinitely more than a future benefit.
Like safety.
Exactly. The safety benefit feels abstract. It feels far away.
Yeah.
But the annoyance of the phone restarting, that feels very real and very right now.
It really is true. You see that loading bar and you just think, I literally do not have time for this.
Even though you probably do.
Right. Because the source also mentioned the excuse. The update will take too much time.
Yeah.
Which is funny because, I mean, how long does an update actually take? 10 minutes. Maybe 20 if it's a huge operating system overhaul.
But in our heads, it feels like we are losing an entire day.
It does.
And I think that's because we are so constantly connected now.
Yeah.
For those 20 minutes, you are totally cut off.
Yeah, your screen is just black with a little logo.
Right. You can't receive texts, you can't check emails. And for many of us, that anxiety of disconnection is actually stronger than the fear of being hacked.
That is a really profound point. It's basically the FOMO of the update screen.
It's exactly that, fear of missing out. And then beyond the psychological, there are the practical concerns people have.
Right.
The source lists. My data pack will run out.
Oh, yeah.
Now, depending on where you are in the world and what your mobile plan looks like, this is a very valid concern.
For sure. Some of these updates are massive.
Yeah, they can be large files, multiple gigabytes in size.
If you are on a limited, prepaid plan, blowing 2 gigs on an operating system update feels like a complete waste of resources.
Resources that you could use for streaming a movie or doing actual work.
Exactly.
But, as we'll see a bit later, weighing that immediate cost against the cost of a compromised bank account.
The math doesn't really hold up.
No, it doesn't. It's a penny-wise, pound-foolish mentality. You are saving $5 in mobile data to risk $5,000 in theft.
Wow. Put like that, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And then there's the final excuse, and this is the big one. This is the one I hear the most from my friends and family.
Let me guess. The speed issue.
Yep. My phone will slow down if I update.
Yeah.
People are absolutely convinced that manufacturers are trying to brick their phones.
The planned obsolescence argument, it is incredibly pervasive.
Because it feels true.
And look, to be fair, historically, there have been bumps in the road.
Right. There were some lawsuits a few years back.
Exactly. We can't pretend that every single update in the history of technology has been flawless. But the source material is very clear on this current landscape. Ignoring the update feels like convenience. You think you are saving time, you think you're saving data, and saving your phone's speed.
But the risk is, quote, very big.
Huge. It creates this massive cognitive gap. We see the annoyance, the restart, the waiting for the progress bar.
Right.
But we don't see the invisible threat.
Because an unpatched piece of software doesn't look any different from a patched one.
That's the key right there. The screen looks exactly the same. The apps look the same. The wallpaper is the same.
So we just assume everything is fine.
But under the hood, the doors are unlocked.
So let's actually dig into those myths a bit more, specifically the storage and speed ones.
Let's do it.
Because I really feel like if we can debunk these, or at least properly explain them, we can remove a lot of the friction for the listener.
Take away the excuses.
Exactly. Let's talk about the storage myth first. The fear is literally, I don't have enough storage. You see the notification, it says, this update requires 1.5 gigabytes of space. And you look at your phone settings, and you have exactly 1.6 gigabytes left.
Cue the panic.
You panic. You think, if I do this, my phone is going to be completely full. I won't be able to take a single new photo.
It feels like you are pouring concrete into your device, just filling it up permanently.
Yes. But the source gives us a reality check here. What is actually happening with that space during an update?
So the source clarifies that updates use temporary space.
Temporary.
Yes. Think of it like renovating a room in your house. Let's say you want to repaint your living room and put in some brand new hardwood floors.
Okay, I like this analogy. I'm with you.
To do that work, you have to bring in tools, right? You bring in ladders, paint cans, heavy drop cloths, maybe a big loud sander.
Sure.
While the work is actually happening, the room is completely full. You can't use it. It is cluttered to the brim.
Right. You can't even walk through it.
That clutter is the installation files downloading to your phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
But once the job is done, once the floor is in and the paint is dry, what do?
You pack it all up.
Exactly. You take the ladders out, you throw away the empty paint cans, you fold up the drop cloths and remove them.
Yeah.
The update process does exactly this. It downloads files, it unpacks them, it replaces the old system files, literally tearing out the old floor and putting in a new one.
Right. And
then, this is the crucial part, it deletes the installation files. It throws away the empty paint cans.
So you actually get that space back, the 1.5 gigs.
Often you get all that space back, and sometimes you even get more space back than you started with.
Wait, hold on. How do you get more space That kind of defies digital physics, doesn't it?
It sounds like it, but it's just software optimization. Newer software is often written much more efficiently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it compresses files better, it cleans up old spaghetti code that just isn't needed anymore. So refusing to update because of a storage fear is actually totally counterintuitive. You might be holding on to a bloated, inefficient system when a much leaner one is just waiting to be installed.
The source creates a very clear distinction here on how to actually solve the storage problem.
It does.
It says if your storage is actually full, like genuinely maxed out full, the solution is to clean out your photos and videos, not to skip the security update.
Exactly. Don't sacrifice the lock on your front door just because your living room is too cluttered with furniture.
To move the furniture.
Right. Move the furniture, delete the 12 duplicate blurry photos of your lunch from 3 years ago.
Guilty.
We all are. But do not compromise the structural integrity of your digital house just to keep hoarding digital clutter.
Okay, that covers storage beautifully.
Yeah.
Now let's tackle the speed myth, because this one is deeply ingrained.
Updates make the phone slow.
Right, and I want to push back on this a little just on behalf of the listener, because I swear every single time I do a massive, version 14 to version 15 update, my phone feels sluggish for a day or two.
Yeah.
The battery drains fast, it gets warm. I'm just totally imagining that.
You are absolutely not imagining the symptoms, but you might be misdiagnosing the disease.
Okay, explain that.
This is where we need to get just a little bit technical to understand what the phone is actually doing right after an update.
Let's do it.
When you install a major update, the operating system often has to completely re-index your file system.
Re-index. What does that actually mean in plain English?
Imagine a massive physical library.
Go.
A major update is like deciding to rearrange the entire Dewey Decimal System for millions of books.
Oh, wow. That sounds exhausting.
Suddenly, all the books are in different places. So the librarian, which is your phone's processor, has to run around frantically and recatalog every single item so it knows exactly where your photos are, where your contacts are, where your app data is stored.
And that running around takes energy.
It takes a massive amount of processing power. So for 24 to maybe 48 hours after a big update, your phone is basically working overtime in the background even when you aren't actively using it.
It's sorting the library.
Exactly. It might feel hot to the touch. It might drain the battery twice as fast. The little swipe animations might stutter or lag.
So the user feels that, they see the lag, they panic, and they say, "See, I knew it. The update ruined my phone."
Exactly. They mistake the temporary construction noise for permanent damage to the building.
Ah, that makes so much sense.
But once that indexing is done, usually within a day or two, the phone runs smoother than it did before.
Because the library is perfectly organized now.
Yes. And the source asserts a major reality check here. Most updates are inherently designed to improve performance.
Because developers want your phone to run fast.
Right. Apple, Google, Samsung, they want you to have a good experience. They're constantly tweaking the code to make apps launch faster and use less battery.
So if the update itself isn't slowing the phone down long term, what actually is? Because old phones do get slow.
They do.
The source actually lists the real culprits of slowness.
Yes, and ironically, number one on the list is old software.
Wait, really? So by keeping the old software specifically to stay fast, I'm actually making my phone slow.
Often, yes.
How does that work?
Think about your apps, your Instagram, your WhatsApp, your mobile banking app. They update constantly, right?
Yeah, almost every week it seems like.
And they are written to work seamlessly with the latest operating system features. If you are running a brand modern app on an ancient, unupdated operating system, there is massive friction.
Like trying to run a brand new high-end video game on a computer from 1995.
It's exactly like that. It's going to struggle, it's going to crash, it's going to feel incredibly slow.
That makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Now, the list also mentions junk apps as a culprit.
We all have them.
Oh, definitely.
Apps we downloaded 3 years ago for one specific purpose. Maybe you needed to scan a weird QR code at a restaurant once. Or a parking app for a city you visited for 2 days.
Yes. And you never open them again. They just sit there. And sometimes they run background processes, eating up your RAM, cluttering the cache.
Just weighing the system down.
That slows you down far more than a system update ever would.
And then the third culprit listed for slowing down your phone is the scariest one.
Malware.
Malware. This is the critical connection we need to make here.
It really is.
The source points out that malware, which enters your phone specifically because the phone wasn't updated in the first place, is a massive cause of performance lag.
Because malware is not optimized for your user experience.
Right.
It's optimized to steal your data as fast as possible. It runs incredibly heavy, hidden processes in the background. It eats your battery alive. It consumes all your processor power.
So the takeaway here is kind of incredible. By skipping the update because you want to quote-unquote save your speed.
You are essentially rolling out the red carpet for the very thing that will completely destroy your speed. You are trying to avoid a minor, temporary slowdown, and instead you're inviting a catastrophic permanent one.
It's a tragic irony. A crypto miner running silently in the background of your phone because you missed a basic security patch will brick your performance far faster than any update from the manufacturer ever could.
Man, that is a brutal reality check.
It's the truth.
Which brings us perfectly to the core concept of this entire deep dive. The source material is literally titled Silent Exploitation.
Yes.
Now, I love a good dramatic title, but this one really feels earned based on what we're talking about. What does silent exploitation actually mean in this context?
The source defines it by connecting old software to an invitation.
An invitation.
Yes, as old software equals silent hacking invitation.
That implies I am literally opening the door for them, which feels harsh.
Well, in a way, you are. Let's break down how software vulnerabilities actually work in the real world.
Okay.
Software is written by human beings, millions of lines of code, and humans make mistakes. These mistakes become bugs in the code. Think of them as tiny holes in the castle wall.
Okay, holes in the wall.
When a software company realizes they made a mistake, they release an update. They're essentially saying, hey, we found a hole in the wall, and this update brings the bricks and mortar to patch it up.
Okay, that sounds good. That's transparency. I like that.
It is good. But here's the scary part, and this is what the source really heavily emphasizes, the patch paradox.
The patch paradox. I haven't heard that term.
So when Apple or Google or Microsoft releases an update, they also publish what are called release notes.
Right, that little text document nobody reads.
Exactly. They say, hey everyone, we fixed a bug in the Bluetooth security module where a hacker could potentially get in.
Okay.
Now, the good guys read this and they update their phones. But who else do you think reads these notes?
The hackers.
Exactly. Hackers read the update notes like a literal treasure map. They look at it and go, aha, version 14.0 has a massive hole in the Bluetooth security. And version 14.1 is the one that fixes it.
Oh, wow. I see where this is going.
They immediately take the new update, and they reverse engineer the fix to figure out exactly what and where the vulnerability was in the old version.
So the fix tells them where the problem is.
Yes. Then they build an automated tool to exploit that specific hole, and then they just start scanning the internet for anyone who is still running version 14.0.
So the update basically broadcasts to the bad guys. Here's exactly where the hole is. Go find people who haven't patched it.
Bingo. So the moment an update is released to the public, a clock starts ticking. If you stay on the old version, you aren't just quote-unquote not updated.
Right.
You are walking around with a giant kick me sign on your back that tells every automated hacking bot exactly where to kick. It becomes a known security hole.
That changes the math completely. It's not just that your software is old and maybe a bit rusty. It's that it has a highly publicized map of vulnerabilities attached to it that bad guys can easily read.
Exactly. The source says it plainly. Hackers already know exactly which bugs to exploit. They don't have to guess. They have the blueprint given to them by the manufacturer.
And this leads to the concept of the zero-click danger.
Yes. This is terrifying.
The source heavily emphasizes this. You don't even have to click anything.
Nothing.
This is what terrifies me the most.
Yeah.
We are all taught to look out for phishing emails.
Standard Cybersecurity 101.
Don't click the link from the Nigerian prince. Don't download the weird PDF attachment from an unknown sender. But here, the source says you don't have to do any of that to get hacked.
That is the crucial difference between user error and a system vulnerability.
Okay.
Standard phishing relies on you, the user, making a mistake.
Right.
You have to be tricked into doing something active.
Right.
In silent exploitation, you don't do anything wrong in the moment. You aren't browsing a shady, illegal streaming site. You aren't clicking a malicious link.
So what are you doing?
You could literally be sleeping in your bed with your phone resting on the nightstand.
So how do they get in? How does the exploit happen if I'm not doing anything?
Because you possess a device with a known unpatched vulnerability, a hacker can simply send a specially crafted packet of data to your phone.
Like what kind of data?
It could be a weirdly formatted text message that your phone processes before you even open it. It could be a malformed Wi-Fi signal if you happen to walk into a coffee shop.
Just a signal.
Yes. And because your phone's software has that hole in the wall, that packet of data slips right through the defenses without any checks.
And then what happens?
And then it executes malicious code.
Ah.
It gains what's called root access or kernel access. It takes over the brain of the phone.
Oh my God.
And it all happens quietly in the background. You didn't click, you didn't approve a prompt, but because the wall had a hole, they just walked right in.
And
That is exactly why it is called silent exploitation.
that is incredibly unsettling. It totally removes the agency from the user. You can't just promise to be careful online to avoid this. You have to be updated.
Precisely. Being careful online is no longer enough if the actual foundation of your digital house is rotten. You can lock your front door with the best deadbolt in the world, but if the entire back wall of the house is missing, you aren't safe.
To really drive this home, the source gives us a specific story, a case study.
Yes. Ramesh G.
It's labeled as a real-life type example of a man named Ramesh G. Now, I really want to walk through Ramesh G's experience step by step, because I think a lot of people listening will see themselves in him.
Absolutely.
This isn't some reckless teenager downloading pirated games on the dark web.
No, Ramesh G is the absolute archetype of the good user.
Right.
He is your dad. He is my uncle. He's a responsible, everyday guy.
The source sets the scene very clearly. Ramesh G's phone was running perfectly. He was totally happy with it. And crucially, he did not click any suspicious links. He wasn't visiting dark websites. He was a careful guy. He probably lectured his own kids about internet safety and not talking to strangers online.
He followed all the standard old-school advice, don't click strange links, and he really thought that was enough to keep him safe.
But he had one fatal flaw.
Yeah.
One massive blind spot.
He had a system update pending on his phone for 8 to 10 months.
8 to 10 months. That is an eternity in tech years. That's like leaving your car unlocked with the keys in the ignition in a busy city for a year.
It really is. And the tragic part is, for those first 8 months, he probably looked at his phone and thought, see, nothing bad is happening.
Right.
I was totally right to skip it. My phone is still fast. My data pack is saved. I didn't waste my time. He felt completely validated in his procrastination.
Until one day, the symptoms actually started. And they weren't explosive, right? It wasn't like a loud siren went off on his device.
No.
The source lists them clearly. First, the phone just started heating up.
A very classic sign of an infection. Heat means the processor is working hard.
Right.
If you aren't playing a super high-end 3D game or rendering 4K video, your phone really shouldn't be hot to the touch.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If it's hot just sitting in your pocket while you're walking down the street, something heavy is running in the background.
It's physically creepy when that happens. It's like the phone is running a marathon while you're just standing perfectly still.
Exactly. It's working, but not for you. Then, the next symptom, his data started draining very fast.
The source mentions this specifically. He starts getting those automated alerts from his carrier. 50% of your daily data used.
Then 90% data use.
And you see that they're thinking, I haven't watched a single YouTube video today. I've barely touched my phone.
Data usage fundamentally implies activity. It means data is actively uploading or downloading. If Ramesh G wasn't the one requesting that data, who was?
And then comes the final straw. The really scary one. OTP alerts began arriving from his bank.
One-time passwords. That is the nightmare scenario.
It really is.
That is the exact moment when the theoretical cybersecurity risk becomes a devastating financial crisis.
So what actually happened to him, the diagnosis from the expert in the source, is pretty clear.
A background app had silently installed itself. Malware entered through the known vulnerabilities in that 8-month-old software. It entered without asking for any permission, and it simply took total control of the device.
It feels so deeply unfair, doesn't it? Ramesh G was safe in his browsing habits, but totally unsafe in his maintenance habits.
It highlights perfectly that security is a two-pillar system.
The two pillars.
Pillar 1 is your behavior. Don't click bad stuff, use strong passwords. Pillar 2 is your environment. Keep the system secure and attached.
Right.
If either pillar falls, the entire roof comes down on your head. Ramesh G completely ignored the environment pillar.
Let's look a bit deeper at the anatomy of background malware, as it's described in the source.
Yeah, let's break that down.
Because I think understanding what actually hit Ramesh G helps us realize why we absolutely need to update.
For sure.
The source says malware doesn't do drama openly.
That is such a great phrase. Doesn't do drama.
It really paints a picture.
Because In the movies, if you get hacked, a big glowing red skull appears on the screen, sirens go off, the screen melts, and a robotic voice says access denied.
Right. Or the hacker laughs at you through your own speakers.
It's exactly Hollywood hacking. But real-world malware, it desperately wants to stay hidden for as long as possible.
That wants to be quiet.
It wants to be a parasite, not a predator that kills the host immediately. It prefers to be totally invisible so it can live in your phone for months or even years, just slowly siphoning off your information.
The source lists its specific capabilities once it's in. First, running in the background.
Which perfectly explains the heat Rameshji felt. It's always on, always working, even when the screen is completely off.
Doing what exactly?
It might be mining cryptocurrency for the hacker, or it's indexing all your private files to steal them, or constantly scanning your local network for other devices to infect.
Second capability, reading SMS, notifications, and OTPs. Now, this is the one that really confuses me.
Yeah.
How did the malware get the OTP from the bank without Ramesh seeing the text message pop up on his screen?
This is incredibly sophisticated but very common now. If you have a deep vulnerability in the operating system, the malware can actually grant itself notification access. It can literally intercept the incoming SMS from the bank. It reads the message, captures the code, say your OTP is 1234. It sends that code instantly to the hacker's server, and then, crucially, it dismisses or outright deletes the notification before your screen even has a chance to light up.
That is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
So Rameshji is just sitting there, maybe drinking his morning tea, and his bank account is actively being drained, and his phone doesn't even beep.
Total silence. Absolute silence. He won't know a thing until he decides to open the banking app himself and sees the zero balance.
Wow. It also mentions constantly using the internet.
Explaining the massive data drain, it is uploading your private data, your contact list, your personal messages, maybe all your photos, to a remote server somewhere in the world.
Just vacuuming it all up.
Or it's using your phone as part of a botnet.
A botnet. Explain that for people who might not know.
Yeah, a botnet is a network of hijacked devices. Your phone essentially becomes a zombie soldier in a massive digital army being used to attack other websites or servers. So you are literally paying your mobile carrier for the data to help hackers launch cyber attacks against someone else.
That is insidious. The list goes on. Injecting ads or phishing pages.
This is a direct way for them to monetize the infection. Suddenly you start seeing weird pop-ups where there shouldn't be pop-ups.
Like on your home screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You open your basic weather app and suddenly you get a full-screen ad for a shady online casino. That is not normal behavior. That's an infection.
And then there's the most invasive one listed, sometimes taking access to the microphone and camera.
This is the ultimate privacy violation, pure spyware.
It makes my skin crawl.
They can listen to your confidential business meetings, they can hear your private family conversations, they can turn on the camera and see exactly where you are and what you're doing.
All because of a software patch that wasn't applied.
All because you clicked remind me later instead of install now.
The source captures the user's confusion so perfectly. It says the user just thinks, I don't know why my phone is acting weird these days.
That vague, unsettling feeling of weirdness, it's a bit sluggish, it's a bit warm today. We almost always attribute it to the phone just getting old.
Right. We blame the hardware.
We say, oh, this Samsung is finally losing its touch. My iPhone battery is just dying because it's 3 years old.
But actually,
it's a silent exploit running in the background. We are blaming the physical hardware for a severe software infection that we allowed in by ignoring the updates.
Okay, so we have definitely terrified everyone listening.
I think so.
I think that was part of the goal, honestly. Mission accomplished on the fear front. But we really need to pivot to the solution now.
Yes, let's fix it.
The source provides a very clear, actionable plan on when and how to update.
And this is so important because we absolutely need to lower the barrier to entry here. We need to make updating feel easy, not like a huge burden.
It has to fit into our actual lives.
Right.
The source suggests a specific strategy for when to update. It suggests at night or when the phone isn't in use.
This completely solves the work is going on right now excuse. You don't have to update at 2 p.m. on a busy Tuesday afternoon when your boss is calling you. Schedule it. Do it while you sleep.
Let the phone do the heavy lifting while you dream.
Exactly. Make it a daily or weekly ritual.
It also says connected to Wi-Fi.
Directly addressing the data pack fear we talked about. Wi-Fi is usually unlimited, or at least has a much, much higher data cap.
So don't burn your expensive mobile data if you don't have to.
Right. Just wait till you get home.
And the third condition, Batteries at 50% or more, or connected to a charger.
This is a crucial safety measure.
Why is that so important?
Because if your phone literally dies in the middle of a major update, like right while it is rewriting the core operating system files that can actually cause catastrophic problems,
It corrupts the whole thing.
it corrupts the software, it can permanently brick the phone, making it unusable. So the system usually won't even let you start the update unless you have enough battery anyway.
Just plug it in to be safe.
Right. So the nightly ritual is simple. Plug it in, connect to your home Wi-Fi, hit update, and go to bed.
It's just digital hygiene.
Exactly. Just like you brush your teeth before bed, you update your phone.
Now for the how protocol. This seems incredibly simple, but the source includes a very specific warning that we need to highlight.
Yes.
The correct path is going into your phone's settings, then software update or system update. But what is the big warning here?
The massive warning is never, ever use unknown update apps or third-party tools to update your system.
People actually do this.
They absolutely do. Sometimes you'll be browsing the web and see a flashing ad on a website, your Android is out of date, click here to update now.
Oh, I've seen those.
Or you might find an app in a sketchy app store that claims to force update your phone to the latest super fast version.
And those are?
Those are almost universally malware themselves. They are traps designed to prey on people trying to do the right thing.
Wow.
The legitimate manufacturers, Google, Apple, Samsung, Microsoft, they only push system updates through the official settings menu.
Good to know.
They do not advertise system updates on random websites. Only use the native settings on your device.
The source strongly advocates for what it calls a peace of mind setting. Auto update.
This is the holy grail of personal cybersecurity. If you take only one single thing away from this entire deep dive today, let it be this. Turn this setting on.
The source lists the massive benefits of this. First, security patches arrive immediately.
You don't have to wait to casually notice the little gray notification icon. As soon as the manufacturer's patch is ready, your phone grabs it in the background.
So you close that vulnerability gap instantly.
Instantly. You beat the hackers who are reading those release notes trying to reverse engineer the exploit.
The second benefit. Eliminates human error or forgetfulness.
You just don't have to remember to do it anymore. You don't have to make a choice between convenience and security.
It removes that whole psychology of delay we talked about earlier.
Exactly. You are bypassing your own human tendency to procrastinate. You are outsourcing your willpower to the machine itself.
Third benefit. Closes the entry point for malware.
It essentially keeps the deadbolt locked 24/7.
And the final one is simply peace of mind.
It really is. Life is complicated enough. This is one less critical thing you have to actively manage.
The source specifically recommends turning this auto update on for system updates and on and for app updates in the Play Store or App Store.
Both are incredibly important. Updating the main OS is crucial, obviously, but updating the individual apps is also vital.
Because an outdated app can be just as dangerous.
Absolutely. An outdated banking app or an old social media app with a flaw can also be an entry point for an attacker.
I see.
It's like properly locking your heavy front door but leaving the flimsy kitchen window wide open. You need to lock everything.
One specific setting I want to highlight, especially for our listeners who use iPhones, is the difference between standard full updates and what they call security responses.
Ah, yes, rapid security responses. This is a brilliant newer feature.
What exactly are they?
Sometimes you really don't need to do a massive gigabyte-level full restart for a major update. Apple, and now Android is doing similar things, are rolling out these rapid responses.
Okay.
These are tiny, targeted patches that fix specific, highly urgent security holes.
So it's like a microdose of security.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
If you dig into your phone's settings, you need to ensure the toggle for security responses and system files is turned on.
Got it.
Because these tiny patches often install almost instantly in the background, sometimes without even requiring you to restart the phone at all. It is the absolute fastest way to stay safe from active threats.
So we have covered a massive amount of ground here today.
We really have.
We started by just admitting honestly that we all hate that update notification. It's annoying.
It is.
We looked at the excuses we make, time, data, speed, and we realized that they're mostly just myths or major misconceptions at this point.
Yep.
We looked at the truly terrifying reality of silent exploitation, where hackers don't even need you to make a mistake and click a link, they just need you to be outdated.
We saw poor Ameshiji lose his private data and his financial security just because of an 8-month delay on an update.
So tragic.
And we walked through the anatomy of that malware, how it quietly listens, how it hides in the background, how it intercepts your passwords.
And finally, we laid out the roadmap. Schedule the update at night, do it on Wi-Fi, keep it on a charger, and preferably just set the whole thing to auto and forget about it.
It's really all about shifting your mindset. Updates are not a nuisance, they are essential maintenance.
That's a great way to look at it.
You wouldn't drive a car for 10 years without ever changing the oil, right? The engine would seize up.
Right.
You shouldn't run a phone for 10 months without updating the software. It's the same principle.
The source gives us a golden rule, a final safety rule to remember all this by, it says. Avoiding an update is like leaving the door open for a thief.
That is the exact image I want listeners to hold in their minds. An unupdated phone is quite literally an unlocked house.
Yeah.
You can have the best digital alarm system in the world, which is your own common sense and your refusal to click bad links.
Right.
But if the front door is left wide open, the alarm doesn't even matter. The thief just walks right in.
It is such a powerful image. And it leads me to a final, slightly provocative thought for you, the listener.
Okay.
We all have that one device.
Oh, definitely.
Maybe it's your primary phone right now, sitting in your hand as you listen to this. Maybe it's that laptop you only ever use on weekends to watch movies.
Or an old tablet you gave to your kids to play games on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it has been nagging you for an update for weeks.
And you've just been hitting later. You've been hitting try again tomorrow.
If you wouldn't leave your physical front door wide open while you sleep tonight, why are you leaving your entire digital life exposed by constantly hitting remind me later?
The risk is incredibly real, but the solution is totally free. And it only takes 10 minutes.
So here is the challenge for you. As this deep dive ends, don't just close the app and move on with your day.
Take action.
Go to your settings. Go to General. Go to Software Update.
Just look at it. If the screen says your system is up to date, then congratulations. You are secure. You can relax. But if it has a big but, download and install button waiting for you.
Treat that button like a ticking bomb. Diffuse it right now.
Close the door to your castle.
Do it today. Do it right now.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Stay safe out there and stay updated.